Seller channel. I'm Hillary. I'm the founder of Baby Seller. I'm also a registered nurse, lactation consultant, and mom of four. And I am just really here to help you not feel so overwhelmed. Babies and motherhood can be super overwhelming, and I am just here to simplify all things for you and help you figure out strategies to move forward and really embrace motherhood and set your baby up to be a settled baby. So today we are going to talk about co-sleeping, and I'm sure that you have heard about co-sleeping. Maybe you feel strongly one way or the other about it. I know me personally, with my first baby, I was scared to death to co-sleep, and I just thought that anyone who co-slept was irresponsible, and how could they be taking a risk with their baby. Fast forward to baby number 4, and I'm just going to go ahead and tell you that there were times when I made the decision that I was going to co-sleep. Now, that was not something that I did on the regular. Kind of what we fell into sometimes was early in the morning after that 5:30 or 6 o'clock feed. I'm talking in those first 6 weeks postpartum with a newborn. I would do sideline nursing, feed my baby. He'd lay on his side in the bed, and I knew that I was taking a risk with that, but I was taking all the precautions that I could. He had an Owlet sock on his foot. He was not swaddled. The blankets were down. There were no pillows around him, and I felt like we needed to do that in that moment because I had 3 other kids, and I just had to get a little bit of extra sleep. But that was a choice that I made, and I'm telling you this story because I don't want you to feel judged or like you're a bad mom if you have made the decision to co-sleep. I definitely do not feel like co-sleeping is the safest choice for you. There are definitely ways that you can make co-sleeping safer, and if you're making that choice to co-sleep, then I definitely recommend that you seek out resources and set yourself up to co-sleep in the safest way as possible. But today I want to talk to you about the other reasons why I do not support co-sleeping and why I do not feel like co-sleeping is really going to set your baby up for success for sleeping in the long run. Not why I don't think it will, but why I know it won't. So let's go ahead and dive into those today. And these may surprise you. The first reason why I do not recommend co-sleeping has to do with relationships, believe it or not. So maybe you are a parent for the first time, a mom for the first time, and this is your only baby. One part of the relationship that it might not affect is other children in your house. But I'm going to talk through a scenario. Let's say this is your second baby or your third baby, and you have other children in your house. It's really, really hard to be your baby's anchor for sleep when you have other children in the house. So just think about how that may affect not necessarily your relationship, kind of though, like how it may affect how you are able to mother your other children. If you have a baby that is completely dependent on you for sleeping, for naps, or at nighttime, it's going to be really hard for you to spend uninterrupted quality time with your other children. So I am not a behavioral therapist, but I will tell you that there is a connection between when you bring a newborn in the house and how you mother your other children. If I could give you one quick tip right now, what I would say is try to find 10 to 15 minutes of time each day that you can spend with your other children without your newborn, without your infant, if you can. Don't blame anything on the baby. Don't use phrases like, oh, mommy can't do that right now because I have to do this with the baby, or, your baby brother needs me right now, so I can't help you. You want to try to avoid those, you want to try to avoid communicating that the majority of the time. I mean, sometimes it's very appropriate to make that statement, but bringing it back to co-sleeping specifically, if you are your baby's anchor for sleep and you have other children in your house, that is going to be really hard. It's going to potentially affect the home life as far as it's going to make it harder for you, honestly. It's going to make it a lot harder for you to care for your other children when your newborn infant that needs, specifically a newborn that needs 16 to 20 hours of, probably more like 15 to 17 hours of sleep in a 24-hour window. And then even as they get older, they're still fast forward to that, 6 to 12 month mark, they're still going to need 14 to 16 hours of sleep in 24 hours. So quality sleep is important. I'll circle back to that at the end, but keep that in mind. Relationship with your partner. If you are a new mom or you are getting ready to deliver, I will tell you that your relationship with your partner is going to change. Communication is key 100%. But when we look at sleep, one thing that I've heard parents say time and time again, when you are co-sleeping and when your baby is solely dependent on you for sleep, it can negatively affect your relationship with your partner because you don't have the ability to have time. First of all, you're going to feel touched out by the baby. Like, there's no doubt. If you are the person that is feeding the baby, breastfeeding the baby, plus your baby is relying on you to sleep and you are co-sleeping all the time, there is no doubt that you're going to feel touched out. And we're going to talk about that more in a minute. But specifically with your partner, I'm not even talking about sex or anything like that. I'm talking about being able to go sit down and have a meal with your partner and have 20 or 30 minutes even of time that you guys can just talk and connect. Having a couple hours sprinkled throughout the day where you can set your newborn down, set your baby down, and feel like they are able to sleep without you holding them 100% of the time or laying down and sleeping next to them is going to be so valuable to your relationship with your partner. Fast forward to your baby is 3 to 4 months. I cannot tell you how much it helps when you know that you've set your baby up to really be able to self-soothe and really have good quality sleep on their own without you being their anchor for sleep, and put them down sometime between 6:30 or 7:30 at night and know that they're probably going to make it really close to the morning, hopefully all night long consistently. And you and your partner can have time in the evening to connect and remember that you guys were a thing before this baby was even around. So not that your baby is not important, but just having time to really connect with your partner and enjoy that time together and not just be, parents 100% of the time around the clock. You really have got to have a little bit of separation with that, because you know what? At the end of the day, your babies are going to grow up and leave you and it's just going to be you and your partner. So you don't want to lose that connection, and you still want to make sure that you have something left to pour into that relationship. Definitely expectations change 100%. There's, communication and things are going to change, but when you're co-sleeping, that just adds another level of stress and I dare say resentment sometimes to the relationship if you're co-sleeping. I talked about it briefly a second ago, but mental health is a huge part of it. I feel like in my 10 years of experience working with moms and babies, that the moms that are co-sleeping, their mental health suffers. Mental health is a huge part. Mental health is really a big topic, and we're not really going to go into details with that right now. But what I will say is, if you are co-sleeping, if you are feeding your baby around the clock and you are co-sleeping and your baby is depending on you for food and then also sleep 100% of the time, there is absolutely no doubt in my mind that you are going to feel touched out and you're going to want to tap out. And it's just, I am not saying that contact napping and snuggling your baby in a carrier or doing those early morning snuggles like I mentioned in the beginning are wrong or bad. And I will tell you that I crave those. Like, I loved those moments with my babies. But if I had to do that 100% of the time, if I did not support my baby and set my baby up to be able to sleep independently without that, my mental health would have absolutely suffered. And I have seen that time and time again with the moms and babies that I've had the privilege of working with and helping them kind of figure out a way out of that scenario. And then the last thing I want to mention is specific to your baby and brain health and just development. Your baby needs really, really good quality sleep. So depending on their age, a newborn is really only going to be awake for, 30 to 60 minutes between every feed and sleep cycle, or that's how we would like to set them up so that they are able to take really good, efficient feeds and get good pockets of sleep between feeds. But we want to make sure that they are getting good quality sleep. So there's a lot. I can do another episode on what exactly is quality sleep and what do I mean by that. But what I want to say here is that co-sleeping, I would question if your baby is getting really, really good quality sleep when they are co-sleeping 100% of the time. I know that babies that I've worked with, the ones that we've helped kind of take down this journey from co-sleeping to sleeping independently in their own space, their moms and parents report that they are such a different baby when they are getting good quality sleep in their own sleep space. They are less fussy, they are more content, they are happier. Parents just report over and over again that they can tell a huge difference between that co-sleeping cycle and how their baby was versus when they are set up to sleep independently. So what's my best recommendation for where you're at right now? If you are currently pregnant, I recommend investing your time and energy in learning about sleep and feeding and that cycle and that connection and kind of what your options are. So if you go to the details in this video below, you'll see some links that will send you kind of your next best steps for finding out more information. If you are currently in that cycle of co-sleeping and you're wanting to kind of find a pathway to set your baby up to work towards being an independent sleeper, we can certainly help you with that too. But you have options. It doesn't have to be 100% one way, 100% the other way, but I just wanted to plant these seeds in your mind and give you something to think about. That yes, there is a concern about co-sleeping and safety and how safe is it. I'm not really giving you the resources here about how to set up a safe sleep space, but I'm telling you that I want you to think about these other things that co-sleeping affects outside of just safety related to sleep. So I hope that was helpful. If you have any comments, questions about this topic, please drop them below. If you felt like this video was helpful, hit that like button, subscribe. My goal is to keep bringing you content that really helps you feel like babies are simple and helps you understand how to navigate this journey because babies can be really overwhelming, and I'm here to help you with that.